This guy needs to be recalled immediately. When it comes to liberal politicians, California definitely takes the cake. Any ice cream. Okay? This guy's a clown. He needs to be recalled immediately. His name is George Gascon, or Gascon, however the hell you want to call him. He's a DA in Los Angeles County. And just this week, he says he's going to modify a policy that bans trying juvies as adults. And a lot of critics are calling it a PR stunt. And it's in response to the transfer of the case of a transgender suspect accused of sexually assaulting a 10-year-old girl several years ago. The memo was dated this past Wednesday from the Chief District DA, Sharon Wu, Gascon's second in command. Now, prosecutors must get special approval from their chain of command before opposing a defense motion to transfer a case from adult court to juvie court. And before that, previously, prosecutors were allowed to object, and the matter was never an issue, another deputy DA said. But Gascon has already said there's a blanket policy that no juvie will be tried as an adult. But he is now wants to make it appear that in some evaluation is necessary by asking the deputy DA for permission to object. What are they doing in California? And if the person commits a crime as a juvie, depending on the crime, they should be tried as an adult. It happens in Rhode Island all the time. I just don't understand where these people come from and what kind of campaigns they run. And people are voting them into office. You wonder why crime is so high. It's unbelievable. But anyways, this new directive came 2 weeks after Hannah Tubbs, a 26-year-old, was sentenced to 2 years in juvie for sexually assaulting a child in a woman's bathroom. And at that time, it was 2 weeks before her 18th birthday. And she identified as a male back then and was named James. But the top prosecutor refused to move the case to adult court, and Tubbs was tried as a juvie. Again, disgusting. A special advisor to Gascon says the directive was necessary so the DA's office could keep track of the cases that might be brought back to LA County in the coming months, because there are a series of cases that will be decided in the coming months by the Supreme Court, and they anticipate numerous cases returning to their jurisdiction. I can't stress enough how bad this is. This person was a male. Sexually assaulted a 10-year-old in a women's bathroom and got caught and got arrested. Now, at 26 years old, she is doing 2 years in juvenile prison. Well, A, because as a man, he's a fucking coward, baby, and as a woman, same thing, would never survive in an adult prison. So, all of a sudden, after the charges were filed, after the arrest was made, I identify as a woman, and my name is Hannah. This DA is a prime example of a liberal politician who could care less about the people that he was elected to serve. He's putting more people in danger by putting adults in juvie detention because the juvies are only going to be at more risk. Now, I get that they're in jail, and I understand that, but putting adult predators in a juvenile prison doesn't make it safe. Okay, there's enough trouble in juvenile prisons. Okay, we have it here in Rhode Island. The juvenile corrections, these kids are dangerous. But you're going to throw an adult into the mix, and what's going to happen? He's going to reoffend, or she's going to reoffend, because now he's surrounded or she's surrounded by juveniles. It's so disgusting what goes on, and no one seems to care. They just keep electing these people and electing them. I just don't, for the life of me, get why someone would put a person like Gascon, whatever the hell you want to call him, in office to be basically the top cop, the district attorney of LA County. But his reasoning was this. The brain of the juvenile is not mature enough, and it's not mature enough until their early 20s. That's why they cannot be tried as adults. Well, how about this? When they're 14, 15, and 16, out running around with guns and knives, carjacking, shooting, murdering people, you don't think their brain's mature enough? You don't think they know what they're doing? Those crimes scream of adult court, scream of adult prison. Okay? Sexual assault, same thing. He knew what the hell he was doing. Okay? He was just turning 18. He's an adult. But, like I said, he gets caught. Oh, I'm a girl. I'm a woman. Shut the fuck up. The guy should have been tried as an adult and thrown in an adult prison for 2 years. Although, because it's a sex offense, they put them in protective custody for the whole time they're there with the rest of these scumbags. So they can sit and they can share war stories of how they're assaulting children. I see it all the time. They don't care. They're all... The sexual crimes against children are out of control, and the majority of the offenders do not care. They have no remorse whatsoever. In my 20 years in law enforcement, I've seen thousands, literally thousands of them, and not one has been remorseful, because they know they're going to prison, but they're going to be protected. They're not going to be put in general population where they can get the shit kicked out of them and whatever else needs to be done to them, because they're in protective custody. And they can get out and they can register as a level 1, a level 2, or a level 3 sex offender. Level 3 being the worst one, most likely to reoffend. And yes, they come back, because I've seen them. These people belong locked up for the rest of their lives. There is nothing good that comes out of doing what they do. Okay? And you let them out, and they're going to reoffend. And all the bleeding hearts say, oh, it's a mental illness. They didn't know what they were doing. They knew exactly what they were doing. It's all about control, and it's all about the abuse of a minor that these scumbags get off on. And again, I've seen it all too many times. And this guy in California, this DA, is putting more children at risk by putting Tubbs, Hannah, or James, whatever the fuck you want to call them, in a juvie prison for 2 years and then putting them back on the street. And I guarantee you, as a woman or a man, it's going to reoffend and get locked up again. And this time, hopefully, this friggin' Gascon, I don't know how to say his name, puts this asshole in an adult prison where it belongs. Because there's no rehabilitation for sex offenders, none. Yeah, and their attorneys always say, there's a lifetime sex offense registry on them now. So everywhere they go, they're a registered sex offender. And they should be for what they're doing. But that doesn't stop them from looking online, child pornography, all that filth. They get directives from the court. You can't use a smartphone. You can't use a computer. Yeah, they can't use their own. You don't think they're using somebody else's? That's the liberal, bleeding heart attitude of this clown in California and basically all around the country. Because these people will always have access to electronic devices that don't belong to them, and they're going to continue to do what they do. They're going to continue to commit their filthy crimes. A lot of them will get away with it. Most of them won't. They all belong locked up for the rest of their life. Life in prison is actually too good for these fucking scumbags. Excuse me, I'm sorry. But it just aggravates me because I've seen so many of them. But these people belong in chains behind bars until the day they drop dead. That's my honest opinion. That's how I feel about it. And this Gascon in California needs to be recalled and removed from office because he's causing problems by putting adults in juvenile prisons and not trying juveniles in adult court for crimes that should be tried in adult court. He's part of the problem. He's not part of the solution. And you wonder why crime is running wild in California, in LA County specifically. It's because of prosecutors like this guy, and he's the head DA. He's part of the problem. He's letting these people out on low bails, and he's giving them small sentences, and he's putting adults in juvenile prisons. And people are okay with it. What are we doing? What are we doing? How many times I've said our country is screwed right now? We're going backwards. Nothing good is happening, especially with these clowns in D.C. But you got a guy like this in California who's putting criminals back on the street that belong locked up for the rest of their life. And that's it. I got wound up when I saw it because it's people like him are putting children at risk by letting some scumbag child molester, all of a sudden I'm a female because I'm a coward and I can't go to an adult prison as a man or even a woman because I'm not going to make it. So I'm going to whine that I'm a woman, and because of his lame policies that no juvie will be tried in adult court, he knew where he was going. And he's loving every minute of it because when that piece of shit gets out, I guarantee you he's going to be doing it again. And that's it. That's my rant. Again, I saw it. I got angry because I've seen this all too many times in my line of work, in the job that I currently do. These people are dangerous. They belong behind bars. End of story. Life without parole, bottom line, for any sex offense. There's no rehabilitating these people. None. Zero rehabilitation. And that's it. Thank you for watching my video. I'm sorry if I went off a little bit, but this is a subject that I can't tolerate these people. But if you happen to like what I was saying, especially about this guy, he needs to be removed. Hit the like button. If you're not subscribed to my channel, consider subscribing. And if you do, hit the notification bell. You'll be notified when another video is up and coming. I hope everybody's healthy and safe. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you soon with something else to go off on. Have a great weekend.